Where the fuck is McClay?
Episode 44. Me, Byron Filson.
Just throw it down.
These are nice chairs. I almost...
Yeah, fuck yeah. Get comfortable, brother.
I took the motors out of mine because I got tired of people.
Yeah. You know what I'm worried about? Every time I go to push them down and like I forget there's a motor and I'm like trying to push them down with my legs.
Right?
That's what I mean. I'm like, I know other people do the same fucking thing.
Oh,
yeah.
What, microphone check? What?
Not the director today, dude.
Oh yeah, we have a guest director in the house.
Oh, me? Okay, goddamn. Action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode, what is it, 44?
44.
44. We are brought to you by Bang Salon. Come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors, vivid colors, extensions, shampoo and styling, all under one roof at Bang Salon. Find and message. You fucking weirdo. Fucking find and message Bang Salon on Instagram at Bang Salon at BANGDSALON. Use promo code
Bogcast
for 20% off your first visit. You should probably go in there, bro.
I know. I didn't mean to throw you off. I was wondering the last time when Jordan banged me.
You motherfucker.
I'm being professional.
He paid.
Motherfucker.
It was here in your living room or your kitchen.
Did you try out the couch?
No.
It's a nice couch. We were talking off air. We had the exact same couch. It's wonderful.
Well, if you fucking...
It's where I would get banged.
So come on down and get banged. Try to... Motherfucker, you fucked up my slogan.
I want to do the commercials.
Do it. Can you...
Yeah, where the
All
fuck...
right.
You got to show up to do the commercials,
Read
bro.
this last part where it says, so calm down.
Into this camera.
So come down.
Yeah, come over here and do it into this camera real quick.
What, right here?
Yeah.
So come down and get banged by Jordan. But if you really try to bang her, Keith will fucking kill you.
Sweet. Awesome.
That's
Thank
great.
Check us
good
out
slogan.
on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes,
Well, I need that back.
all the podcast catchers, and like and subscribe. Make sure you do that.
Yes.
Sweet. We have an awesome guest in the house
yeah.
today.
Is somebody else showing up besides
No,
me?
man, motherfucker, Byron Filson
Fucking local
in the
legend,
house.
bro. Fucking international legend. I saw
fuck
you
yeah.
on stage.
International. Wow.
I saw you on stage in like Spain or something
that's right.
with Hogjaw.
Yeah,
Holy
that was a
shit.
good time.
Yeah, that was pretty tight, bro.
That was something else, man.
Damn, I fucking didn't even realize you even played in Spain. With Pelvic?
Mm-mm.
Oh, in Hogjaw.
Yeah, well, I went out. I've done like 6 records for those guys. And we've been friends forever because, it's Kowalski and Canella and Damon, all from N17. And they've been threatening to take me to Spain forever. And then this last tour, Jason was like, you better come because there might not be another one. Oops,
Sorry about that.
And so, yeah, I joined them for 2 weeks of their tour in Spain. And it was fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So I got to get on stage and play a couple songs with them. And
Fuck yeah, that's
the fans in
badass.
Spain are so amazing, dude. It's so different than the States. They're just all about any kind of live music.
Yeah.
So. And especially them because they're, kind of a Southern rock thing, very American. So people are real stoked about that. But yeah, I was like signing autographs. I'm like, I'm not in the band. I'm like trying to, I can't speak Spanish worth of shit since like college. I'm like, no. I did. My name's on the back. I recorded this, so that's okay. I'll sign it.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah,
cool, man.
very
Fucking,
cool.
did you guys party your ass off there? Or?
Yeah, the best part about Hogjaw is they drink a lot,
Fuck yeah.
and on their rider, it's 2 bottles of Jack Daniels, and then like a 6-pack of beer for Damon or whatever. So the thing about Spain is
Keith, hand me a lighter, brother.
their ice is amazing.
Like McDonald's?
Better than McDonald's. It's these big ass cubes.
Oh, nice.
It's so good, dude.
Isn't that funny
They
how
just
that
fucking
works?
Better. They just use better water, probably.
Yeah, that's
Water's
exactly
bullshit
what
out
it
here.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking our water's just fucking is like calcium cubes, pretty
Right?
pretty
Yeah.
much. You know what I mean? So when's the drinking start? Fucking right before the show, right when you wake up.
We had a.
I mean, I don't know.
No,
I've never
true.
been on tour.
They're pretty disciplined in that we're not, and we're not kids anymore, so we're not drinking from the minute we get up. But it's definitely like they had a very rigorous tour schedule while I was with them, so we were doing a lot of driving. They had this great big Mercedes van, so it was comfy. And we mainly just like watch movies on our laptops and shit. But usually would be, depending on how late we're running, go to the hotel, drop off your shit, put on your regular shoes, take off your flip-flops, and then we go venue, unload, whiskey.
Nice.
Sound check, more whiskey, and then dinner, then showtime.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any like press you have to do in between it all, or?
not me. Jason Kowalski had some to do, but it was mainly online interviews. I don't know if he had any like personal interviews while we were there, but.
What were the venues like?
The first one was like being in like a dungeon. It was like, it felt like you were underground. It was all brick, very low ceiling, probably like 4 times the size of this room, so not very big at all. The stage was probably the size of this room, if that, meaning like the length of it. Very small, but it packed in, and the sound there was great. It's funny because a lot of these venues are like here. When I say here, I mean like stateside. How many places have we played growing up in bands where the music side of it is the afterthought? Like, oh, it's a bar, but if we cram a stage over there, we can make some more money by bringing bands in, and then the sound sucks and this and that. These places have been around so long, they've got it dialed in, so it looks like, maybe it was an afterthought, but then their sound guys got their shit together, and the sound is great, like everywhere we went. Coincidentally, like the second night of the tour that I was a part of, the venue was awesome. It was like totally built to be a music venue, and unfortunately that was like the least attended of all of the shows.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, the sound here kills. But there's a soccer game going on, so if that's happening at the same time as the show, then forget it.
Yeah, the fucking whole town's at that game, guaranteed.
Yeah,
You got to plan
Pretty
around
much.
that.
yeah.
They're out getting wasted and throwing punches.
Yeah, hooligans.
Yep.
How the fuck do you get your equipment over there? Do you rent equipment out there, or do you actually ship it over there? Or?
So with them, they kind of have a cool deal going on with the people that they book through. They provide the tour manager, who's also the driver, and then they also have like a backline business. So they get all your gear. All you're bringing is guitars, pretty much. I don't know if Kowalski brought his pedals, but yeah, everything else is just provided for you.
Do you get to pick like the cabs and shit you want, or you kind of have to get stuck with your deal?
It might be within the parameters of what they have or what they offer, but it was good shit. It was like orange and Marshall stuff. So, and then the drum kit, I don't remember what it was, Gretsch or something like that, but it was nice. So they got good stuff.
Oh, that's really badass, man.
Yeah, real badass.
Fucking, I want to talk about Pelvic too, man. Is it this year or next year? You guys are 30 years.
Yeah, in 2020.
2020 is 30 years. That's fucking badass, man. Congratulations
huge,
on that.
yeah.
Thank you. It's really weird to think that we're still doing it.
Well, what do you think has kept you together for 30 years?
Rich, pretty much.
Oh shit!
It's true. We were just talking last night. We were driving down to his clubhouse, and I don't know what he said. He was talking about somebody that we've known for a long time that doesn't care for music anymore. I'm like, hey, that's me. I'm kind of burnt out on music.
Fucking A.
Talked about like, can we just wrap up this band thing real quick? Because it's too much work at my age, bro.
Yeah.
Because he's like, dude, we got to finish writing these songs and record another album. And I'm like, I put so much into the last album because I thought it was going to be our last one, But it looks like we got another one coming. But
Is this going to be the last one?
I don't know. I'm sure Rich will be like, hey, Byron, I'm going to have some time away from the home today. We should get together and write the next Pelvic record. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Hopefully this will be the last one. I shouldn't say hopefully, but Since I'm engineering it and producing it,
I get it because you're doing you do everything. Yeah, no, I totally get that, dude.
Yeah. As much as it's like it's kind of a double-edged sword in that
he's calling you out to do that, but you got to do 99%.
Yeah, well, I got to do it.
He's at home, legs up, drinking Keystone.
Yeah.
You finished with that?
Yeah, you got to write.
No, I definitely get that a lot.
You got to write all the riffs. You got to fucking record it.
This time, Dayon, he's the new guy, but he's been with us for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, who used to be in Core. He's written a bunch of the riffs.
Oh, shit, Core. I remember
remember
Core.
them?
Fuck yeah.
So he just cranks out riffs. So it's kind of different for us because Rich and I are more about the riffs. So we'll sit there. We got one. Okay, that's a good one. And then we'll, for hours, try to figure out what the next one is. And then, it takes us a long time to write a song. Well, Dayon just like cranks out 30 riffs in an hour and like, drop boxes them to us. And then
sick.
That's
then,
badass.
Then we decide, okay, it kind of changed our mindset. It's like, okay, this riff might not be the best riff in our minds, but it's going to be more about how the song is in the end. So that's been kind of a different approach for us because, like I said before, it was more like a step-by-step thing. We'd come up with one riff, and it might take us a fucking week to finish the song. But so anyway, he's been writing a lot of shit, which is great because then it takes, a lot off of me. I don't have to do shit except go down and help like arrange it with Rich and shit. But so that's a different approach coming up, looking at the next record.
I don't even think the fans think you guys are ever going to stop. I think they expect.
I don't think they'll let them.
Yeah, what about the fans?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to ever happen.
I didn't know there were fans. I just thought we were just doing this for like our old friends that still got the shows. No, it still baffles me that people do come to see us play. For real. For real. I mean, like, who wants to see a bunch of old fucking guys jumping around a lot less than they did 20 years ago? But no, it's great, man. The fact that we are still able to play is a privilege, and I'm grateful for that because, as you guys know, being in bands, there's nothing like it being on the stage, and we're probably in a very small percentile of people who get to experience that in our lifetime. So
very true. Yeah,
very grateful for that.
Yeah, there's nothing like it being on stage.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, I will kiss you later.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm all bronered up on this episode, guys.
Bronered up.
Yeah. Fuck, I had another question. I was gonna ask you. So before, most of the writing process was just you and Rich going over the rest, and is that outside of the studio, or do you write a lot of it in the studio?
When you say studio, you mean like recording studio?
Your recording
yeah.
studio.
No, everything's written in a rehearsal room.
That's good. Yeah. They're awesome. Yeah.
And you're kind of not doing that anymore. If you got guys that are sending you stuff, check this out. That's got to be kind of weird.
It's a
new way of songwriting.
Yeah.
Well, but we're not doing it quite like that, and I know a lot of people do, especially if they, drummer lives in New Mexico or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know a couple bands are like that. It's more just like, okay, here's a heads up, here's some riffs to check out, and then, Rich might be like, hey, I'm digging this one, and if we kind of agree, then maybe we'll work it out a little bit at home, just so when we get down to the room, we have a little something to start off with, and then it kind of evolves from there. Either it'll inspire me to come up with another riff, or if I have any input on changing a note or whatever in some kind of progression. But yeah, it just kind of gives us a place to start.
Yeah.
So most of it is still worked out in the band room.
Beforehand.
Yeah.
After 30 years of Pelvic Meatloaf, how many songs do you guys have? And do you remember every single riff from every single Pelvic song?
That's a really good question, because I don't know how many songs we have because I don't remember. B, no, we can probably only play 80% of the songs off our latest
That's
record.
good. I think 80% is good.
Off the latest
You
record.
guys have to have at least 100 songs, right?
Oh. Yeah. Like if somebody from the crowd was like, hey, play Cenobite off your first EP, be like, maybe next time, buddy. We're gonna need to sit down and work that out. But there are a couple, that we've played hundreds of times that if we just like played it once at practice, like I Am Your Pain, we brought back for our last show, and
Hell yeah.
we only had to run it once, and like we were all nervous about it too. It's funny because now that Kelly's back in the band, Kelly was in Pelvic, in the early part of the band, and then he left in like the mid to late 90s, and then we got Randy, and then when Randy left, Kelly was able to come back because his kids were grown up and he had a solid career. So, but it's like just a bunch of old friends sitting around. I'm like, Kelly, do you remember how this riff goes? He's like, fuck, no. And like I have to look at the other guitar player and try to, bounce. Is it this chord or this chord? Fuck, I can't remember. But most of the time it comes back pretty fast. But the best part about being in this band is that we're all such old friends. And it's just, I usually dread practice because it gets in the way. But, I
Gets in the
work
way
all
of
day.
friendships.
I'm like, I don't want to go drive to fucking Tempe to play songs I don't remember. but then when you get down there, it's like, oh, it's some of my best friends, and then it's just really fun. So
probably like therapeutic in a way. You get to stress release.
And, and just catch up, because a lot of times we don't rehearse for months until like there's something coming up. We have a show. Like, okay, well, we better get together and try to learn these songs again since it's been 6 months or whatever. So, but yeah.
How's John doing?
John had cancer.
Yep.
So Rich was on the first episode.
Oh, that's right.
He brought it up,
and he's going to be on episode 52, I think.
Yeah,
is what he's telling me. Very cool. Yeah, so stoked for John. He had this cancer, and he had to go through all the chemo and that other. What's the other terrible
radiation?
Bullshit? Radiation. Thank you. But yeah, he's a trooper. I think he was ready to rehearse a good couple weeks after he was done.
I know. I saw a Facebook post of that. I was like, fucking crazy.
Like,
really?
Yeah.
That's inspiring, man.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
Probably needed it. He probably I really
yeah.
fucking need this right now. I need to fucking have something I enjoy doing.
I saw a Facebook post of him holding a fish on a river. Where was that?
Oh, I'm not sure.
It was after everything where he was all done. He looked smiley and
I think they
active.
do. He does like a trip once a year, and that might have been where this was taken. He goes home to, I think it's Nebraska.
Maybe.
Sorry, John, if I fucked that up, but yeah. So, and he's an avid like fisherman and outdoorsman and shit like that. That's what truly makes him happy. And he's retired from music several times. Like when he was the drummer for Blessed for a minute. When that was done, he was done, and then we pulled him back in.
I totally forgot he was in Blessed.
Yeah.
Hey, Byron, can you bring the mic just a little bit closer?
Sure can.
Right on, thanks, man.
You got it. I should know better. I'm not usually on this side of the mic though. So.
Yeah.
No, so is John doesn't have to do the radiation or chemo anymore?
He's in remission.
Remission.
Hey,
Okay,
that's
that's
badass.
badass, dude.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
So we're hopeful that that's how it stays,
Yeah. Yeah, Chris here is a cancer survivor. He had a
Oh, nice.
big, huge ass cancer taken out of his leg.
Ooh.
And we've had a lot of guests on, either survivors or it's touched or whatever.
Right.
Like the previous guest, we were just we were laughing our ass off. Then it got super dark there for a second. Like, my dad just died of cancer. Like, oh shit.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't help but laugh at it.
Maybe
He
we
dropped
can get
it
John
like.
on and talk about his story sometime.
That would be cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You hear that, John?
Yeah, John,
Right?
come on, man.
Yeah.
Love to
that
have
would
you.
be cool. Yeah, it's crazy how as we get older, a mortality starts to, show us just how real that is.
Yeah.
And then things like cancer and things you start to see happening to people that you're close to.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy,
it's
man.
like, dude, what? When we were 20, it was like,
We're
fuck you, can't be killed.
Yeah, we're invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The craziest shit to me is Soggy, man, just because to me, he was invincible. Like,
Yeah.
he was the fucking healthiest, strongest, baddest
Right.
motherfucker I ever
And
met
if,
in my
karma,
life.
if there was ever anybody that karma should have looked down upon and shined, it was fucking
Exactly.
him. Yeah.
And
sure.
Another thing is Soggy helped save his life while he was on cancer
Right.
by
No shit.
providing
Yeah.
him with
That's-
800 milligram THC CBDs every day and shit.
Wow.
And right after he did that is when he came down with it. So it's like,
That's fucked.
in the last few years, man, it's just been like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, can't get away from it and shit.
Yeah. It's
Anyway.
ruthless, man.
Did not mean to make it super dark there. So
Nope.
what is your favorite beer of all time?
I don't drink beer anymore. But my favorite beer was
Oh,
Keystone Light.
Oh,
yeah.
damn. What do you drink? Vodka water?
Vodka soda.
Oh, vodka soda. Damn,
Yeah.
was close.
Vodka soda and or, some kind of brown water, Scotch, whiskey, whatever.
Damn.
Yes, but yeah, no more beer
I
so
wonder if I
much.
can get a refund. There was a mouse in the beer.
Somebody who will drink these,
Fucking A.
Oh no, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
The Kirschwell
Yeah.
for sure.
right?
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll have a couple. So
Give me $10.
fuck yeah.
give me $10. Thank you, Oompa. By the way, very thoughtful.
Oh,
of
you're
you.
welcome, big buddy.
He was saying that you have a tattoo of it too, right? Even?
Keystone Light. Oh yeah,
That's sick.
it's so old now.
Oh, it's faded.
Yeah.
It's empty.
Well, this is the old school can too, like the first
Yeah.
can.
Oh shit.
So,
That's
yeah.
when I was drinking it. I used to drink that shit in my early 20s like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
That and Natural Light.
Natty Light.
Or Natty Ice, I mean.
fuck.
Not
Because
Light.
of
Not Natty
I
Ice.
drank those 2 beers.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, when I think of Natty, I think of Torque. I think those
Jesus.
dudes. But
Yeah.
That's exactly who I was drinking it with.
Yeah,
those
right?
guys. Yeah,
it's awesome.
those fucking guys. Right on,
So
man.
on,
So
man.
I want to also talk about your recording studio, Villain Recordings and shit.
Okay.
Fuck, man, you opened that 1997?
Something like that. 96, 97. Yeah.
So that was like I mean, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it an odd time for recording because it was before the digital boom and then right after reel to reel? So you were running, what was at that time? Was that ADAT? You were doing ADAT.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
I remember we recorded with you with ADAT at one
Mhm.
point.
Yeah. That was like kind of the getting toward the end of the digital tape days, and when Pro Tools started to, when I first started, Pro Tools was out of reach because it was way too spendy, and I couldn't afford that. But I had like a, what was it, quarter-inch reel-to-reel, 16-track, and then ultimately I had 3 ADATs too. So, and then I had like this crappy Mackie board, and yeah, that's how I did it at first.
So your OG studio, you would record reel to reel?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what brick was done on,
Probably ADAT.
but I had both. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
and imagine the sync time. Like if I told some kid that came into the studio today, like, okay, hold on, man, I just got to rewind this shit. And wait. He'd be like, what? Yeah, it's going to take a second. And then once we hit record, I got to wait for the ADATs to sync to the tape machine and then sync to each other. So that could take like a good 10 seconds too. Dude, that sucked.
Now you just fucking click a fucking mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
We're back.
Do you get interns and shit that come down and spend time down there?
Hmm? Yeah.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah, I have
That's
an
cool as
intern now.
shit.
I've had a couple interns from this. It's in like Coolidge or some shit. What is it? Central Arizona College or something. I can't remember, but I've had like 3 interns from there. And dude, those guys have like an hour drive to come to my place.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
like,
yeah.
fuck you. I wouldn't be doing that shit. That's too far to drive.
It's
But
probably slim pickings out there, man. That's cool that you're doing that.
yeah, I mean, there definitely aren't as many big studios as there were when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's plenty of like micro, studios. And that's what's interesting to me too, is when I started, you didn't have a whole lot of project studios. You had the big studios, and then you had a couple out of a house, and it was always kind of, I don't want to say frowned upon, but I'd had a lot of dudes that would come in and like check out the place and then end up going to the salt mine or phase 4 or whatever. That was more of a traditional studio, because they're like, what? I'm recording this fucking guy's bedroom, because it's more about the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But what's funny now is you look at like most of even the bigger metal bands, they're recording out of the studios just like what I got, a smaller, maybe built on to a house kind of a place, because the climate doesn't really afford the big houses anymore. There's no big budget for, like, especially in metal is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you're in a hip hop band or a pop band.
It's even worse probably because they just do it in an apartment closet or something. You know what I mean?
Sure, but that where the money's at, they might still go to big places.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing, unless you're Metallica in the metal realm, you're not really seeing. You watch like Lamb of God recording their record, and then there's this small little place doing their guitar tracks. So it's just interesting to me to see when I had first started and had a smaller place, that's kind of the norm now.
Yeah.
Meaning
Everyone has a studio in
Everybody
their
should
shit.
have a
Yeah.
studio.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And in my opinion, it's oversaturated music with just bullshit. So it's harder to find good music now.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I don't know where I was going with that.
Are you?
I had a point. I'm too
forgot already.
stoned.
That's
Fucking
awesome.
stoned.
That's okay. Man.
When you have people that are coming in to record and they're like weekend warriors and they start talking, oh, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Do you get that very often where you got to check somebody and be like, dude, come on, bro, I got it.
Like the guy who knows just enough
Yes.
to be dangerous,
Yes.
kind of a guy. Yeah. Sometimes, sure. I remember I had some band coming down from Flagstaff, and he was all like, asking me questions about my gear. He's like,
how
bro,
much do you mic, bro?
Do you? He was like, do you have any Newmans? And I was like, you mean Neumanns? yeah, I got those. So that's why I was like, okay, dude, you probably will shut up now because you don't even know how to pronounce the fucking
Versace.
That is the other question. Do you have any Avalons? That was a big question for a while. I'm like, okay, bro, did you saw one at Guitar Center or something? Because Avalon is not all that, but you know, that was just kind of a big thing for a while. Where people asked, "You got any Avalons, bro?"
But when they're asking this, do they ask for particular mic setups, or I mean, I'm sure you have your own plan that you want to do, right?
Yeah, and most guys, you know, probably like us.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. I'm just there, you know, as long as we're using my guitar, and you know, I'm even open to rig suggestions if you've got better shit than I do.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I recorded with you, you brought in a whole head, a guitar amp, and fucking made my tone sound 100 times better. I was like, fuck yeah.
And I get fought on that sometimes. You know, I have dudes that show up with their crates and their.
People get attached to their guitar tones.
Sure.
And super anal about it.
Right, but some of these guys, I'm like, okay, dude, you know, and I hate to be like a brand fag, but a crate 9 times out of 10 is going to be garbage.
Yeah, crate sucks.
Just leave that the fuck at home.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, bro, it's my sound. I'm like, dude, you're fucking 19. What is you got a sound?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, your sound. your sound is what is on the record, right? And your sound is is in your hands. That anyway, it don't matter what you play through. You're still going to sound like you. It's either going to sound like shitty you or good you.
Yeah.
So let me help you sound like good you.
Yeah, let a professional do his job.
Right. So, and most of the time people are cool with that. It's just once in a while I have to appease, and I'm like, okay, bro, we'll throw your Randall up there, but then I'm going to match it up with a Diesel. And then, you know, if your Randall sucks, then Randall goes down, Diesel goes up. And there you go. So.
And they don't even know it.
Yeah. And I think that I'm not trying to trick anybody, but it's like, it's like, dude, we got to be, you know, I'm on your page. I'm trying to help you.
You want it to sound good. It's like, the bottom line is if anybody wants it to sound good, it's the guy that's doing that. And that's...
Right? Because that's, you know, that's my name.
Yes, exactly. And your name's shit. If everything's riding on your name in that, you know, position.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you use the same basic mic setup on every band, or does it vary depending on their equipment and the project? Or
yeah, I mean, I have certain mics I use for certain instruments, and that doesn't, you know, at my age, I'm done kind of experimenting because I've been doing it so long. I know, at least for me, what works. So, excuse me, Keystone. So yeah, most of the time it's like, okay, you know, snare is going to get a 57, and on the bottom I'm going to do this, and toms get this, and you know. Guitars usually get 2 of the same mics, 57 and a Royer, and I might change up vocal mic every once in a while, but yeah, for the most part I'm going to use the same mics for certain instruments because that's what works for me.
Do you also like pan the drums, like if you're behind the kit playing it?
I am definitely a musician's perspective mixer.
I love that.
So yeah, because dude, who's going to drive down the road and then when it gets to a Slayer ride part, you got to do this. And if the ride's over here, fuck that. Yeah. I don't even play drums. Yeah, air drum like a motherfucker.
No, you're right. I fucking hate that shit.
Like, back to the studio. For me personally, when like a tone and you're at personally for me, back to the recording, the tone, like as far as guitar tone, when like you're at home or in a studio. And then you get in the recording studio and you have a mic on it and you're actually hearing an inch or two of what your tone really is instead of all the noise in between your ear and there.
Sure.
It's room to experiment and change. Like you've been doing it a long time. I kind of, know like.
Well, yeah, you've done live sound for a long time.
That's going to change too, you know. And that's always room to experiment and take out frequencies and add frequencies.
Sure.
So it's funny because I get that too. Hey, can you turn the highs down on that? And they're like, they get offended, like you're screwing with their sound, or you think that their sound sucks, but you're actually trying to make it tolerable to hear.
You're like, dude, this is my listening environment, and I know what's going to work in here. You got to trust me to help you sound the best that you can.
Yep.
And that's
let an expert do what he's there to do.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent.
Or when a guitar player asks, or when you ask a guitar player to turn their amp down. And they're like, fuck.
Oh, dude.
No guitar player wants to do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
And
they always give you shit.
And I know, like, they'll just go and, like, just...
They're going to fake it.
They fake it.
Yeah. Or it's coming back up by the chorus.
They fake it.
But with that said, you'll do the same thing. Yeah. If they ask for something, yeah, for sure. Fake turn up the monitor. Is that good? Yeah, perfect.
Like, fake turn it up. They look at me. I got binoculars. No, you didn't. Anyway.
No, you didn't. I saw that motherfucker.
No, you didn't.
That's awesome.
So, do you have the Yamaha NS10s in your studio? Like, what do you think about those? I see those in every fucking studio.
I worked on them. Probably the first studio I worked at had NS10s.
What's up with those things?
A lot of people say the idea behind those is if your mix sounds good through NS10s, it'll sound good pretty much anywhere because they kind of sound like shit.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, is that true?
I was pretty young when I worked on them. I couldn't really give you an opinion on. Did I refer to them? Yeah, but I'd always mix on better speakers and then just kind of check them. Like even now I got these pair of like little Oratone guys, and they're just these little mix cubes, and I saw them on like Dave Grohl's console. I'm like, oh, well, I guess if they're good enough for Dave Grohl, then I'll give them a shot because I've been hearing about them. So I got a pair, and they're great. So I start mixing on the speakers that I'm comfortable with, and then you go to the little ones just to check for how's the bass? Can I hear the bass in these little guys that have no real low end to them?
Mm-hmm.
Just a good way to double check what your shit's gonna sound like on a smaller bass deficient device. So I kind of picture NS10s being that same kind of deal. They don't sound great, but it might really scream problematic things in your mix, like, oh fuck, that's killing my ears right now. So maybe I should back that off a little bit and then go back to my normal speaker set and see if I can, I can hear that now. Sometimes you just have to reference something else, and then when you come back to your normal speakers,
like go in your car or your iPod.
Yeah, I'll go to the car on a mix and be like, oh fuck, what's going on the low end? Okay, and then I take it back inside and listen to it, like, oh, now that I'm really listening for it, I can hear where the problem is. Sometimes you just need it.
Sometimes you get just lost in the mix, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because you're into it so long, working on it for so long.
Yeah, especially if you like zoom in on something for too long, which I try not to do because that can just fuck your life. You have to be like, kind of make some fast decisions based on experience, and hopefully your judgment is good, and then just move on, and then maybe come back later because you don't want to get too.
Don't get too nerded out on it.
Too buried in it, yeah. Because then you won't get anywhere.
You can see the forest through the trees or whatever that saying is.
Right, yeah. Totally.
Did you, you brought up the Dave Grohl. Did you see that documentary he did on HBO?
I certainly did.
What'd you think? That was badass.
Well, are you talking about Sound City?
I'm talking about the one where he went to the different ones, the show.
Oh, okay.
So he went to, I think he was recording the last Foo Fighters album. Mm-hmm. And so he did a song.
Yeah, that was very cool. Just to be able to see all these cool studios and
Sonic Highways.
Yeah, Sonic Highways. Yeah,
that was great. I'm not a huge,
thanks, Chris.
Huge
Jamie
Foo Fighters fan, but
me neither.
Who doesn't love Dave Grohl?
I love Dave Grohl. I have the same exact opinion.
Yeah. He's just like, dude, you got to respect him and love the dude because he's real. At least he seems that way.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But yeah, he just seems like a cool.
He's one of those people. I think we talked about this one time where like people you would really like to like sit down with and have a cool conversation.
Yeah, on our podcast, Dave Grohl.
Yeah. I also feel like if you did, he would be the same guy you'd expect him to be.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like
because we talk about like when you meet your heroes, they sometimes disappoint you. He seems like
one
that would actually be cool.
Right. Like when I met, back when we were younger, we met Dimebag a whole bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
And he was always the same dude. You
That's
felt
cool.
like you were in the Pantera
That's
home
fucking
video.
cool.
You're like,
I remember
Dude,
those, dude.
you're
Those
the
home
same dude.
videos.
I remember
yeah,
going with you guys. It was you, Rich, me, Brutal Julie Lovelace, rest her soul. Rudy. Rudy was working it, and it was at Mesa Amphitheater.
Okay.
And it was Pantera. Somebody else. Anyway, you guys like went off somewhere, left me and Julie. Rudy was somewhere walking around. Next thing you know, you're on stage with Pantera, you and Rich, and you guys are doing shots of Blacktooth.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell?
Dude.
This guy? Anyway, it was like the coolest thing.
That was
I forgot how we
fucking
got in
awesome.
there.
What?
Grab a beer?
I forgot how we got in there.
no, grab a beer, dude.
I think Rudy got us in there.
Probably. And then Rich somehow got us. He was like the king of
The fuck is that?
The fucking GoPro just
But
died.
Oh,
getting us backstage.
That was one time an experience with you guys with Pantera.
It was
You
cool.
met Pantera too?
The batteries in
No,
there,
they
Chris.
left us. It was they went off, and me and Julie were walking around looking for them, and then Pantera's on stage, and we look over, and Rich and Byron are on stage with Pantera
Holy
doing
shit.
shots of Blacktooth Grin,
Yeah.
and we're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
We were. Like,
I don't remember how Rich finagled us back there, and then we're standing side stage,
It's
and they're
pretty
about to like line up shots, and Rich is like, "Let's just walk out there and do shots with them." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, dude. You know, kind of like when you shoplift, you just pretend like you're walking out with a cart full of beer that you bought, and you're cool. Nobody fucks with you. So we're just gonna walk out like we're supposed to, and that's what we did. We walked out, kind of like." We waved at the audience and then just went up and had our shot, and then some stagehand came like, "Dude, you guys need to get the fuck off the stage." So yeah, we were only up there for a little bit.
that was pretty funny.
That was cool.
Do you have any cool dime bag stories?
Let me see. I'll give you I'll try to make it brief, but Pantera story, mostly time bag. So we were at what was that big venue? Outside venue. I can't remember what it's called. In town.
Blockbuster Desert Sky Pavilion.
No. It was. Fuck. It'll come to me. I don't know why I can't remember what it's called. But anyway.
Civic Center.
No. It was like in the. I don't want to say the middle of nowhere, but it kind of was, and it was just all outside. I don't even think there were any seating.
Compton Terrace.
Compton Terrace.
That's old school.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
So we're
I
at
remember
Compton,
Guns N' Roses played there.
right? So we're at Compton Terrace. I don't remember how we got backstage. Rich had a way of doing shit. Like we used to make our own. We go to Kinko's and make our own backstage passes, which look nothing like. And they just confidently walk by. And dude, ours were like that big, and theirs were like that big. So I don't remember how we got backstage to the Pantera concert, but we did. And Dimebag was there, and we did Blacktooth with him, and then. It was like being in a Pantera video. Oh, there's tongs. Oh,
Chris,
there's
just kill it. We don't need it.
good.
Yeah.
And then there was what was his name? Big Val. Anyway, if you'd watch the Pantera videos, like all these different characters that work
Big
for them,
Val, yeah.
and they were all there, and it was like I'm in the Pantera home video. This is crazy. So they're about ready to get on the bus, and Dimebag's like, "Hey man, you guys are real cool. You guys want to come out to LA and see our show tomorrow night?" Actually, he invited us to go on the bus to go to the next show.
Fuck.
And I'm like, well, I got a job. And a couple other guys did too. So it's like, I can't just get on a bus. And it's not like we had cell phones and shit back then where I could like let somebody know.
So I was
like, oh,
missing.
Fuck.
Payphone.
So I'm like, well, we might be able to go on our own and meet you there. Yeah, I'm gonna go meet Pantera over at the Forum. But anyway, we ended up. He's like, Tongs will take care of it, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. So okay. So most of us managed to get the day off, and I think it was me, Rich, Kelly, Zeno, and Sabrina. If you remember, our manager
Sabrina
back
Walker.
then. Mm-hmm. So we drive out there, go to the Forum, go up, get our tickets, and we had some kind of passes. They weren't all access. It's just some kind of like whatever it was. And Rich comes up with the great idea of, I'm going to go up again and see if they'll give me more. And I'll just tell them I didn't pick him up yet. So we must have waited a little bit. Maybe there's a change of the guard, so to speak, in terms of the person at the box office. So motherfucker goes back up and says, hey, yeah, I'm Rich from Pelvic Meatloaf in Phoenix. And
he had already done this.
We drove all the way out here and, anyway. Like, there's nothing up here for you. And so Rich is like, what do you mean? We came all the way from Phoenix.
Just kill it.
And
just put it away.
They end up getting Tongs, who was I think he was I don't know if he was a stage manager, tour manager, whatever for Pantera at the time. So he comes up and says, oh yeah, hey dude, oh they must have fucked up. Here, have some all access. So then now all of a sudden we've got even better than we had before. So what do? We scalp the other passes and tickets so we can have money to drink at the show.
Fuck.
I still can't believe it worked.
That's amazing, dude.
So then what do? We go in and there's a place backstage called the Forum Club. And that's just like a bar for people, rock stars or people who have all access passes. So like, what's his name? Lemmy from Motorhead. Was back
oh,
there,
shit.
Damn.
who we almost got in a fight with because he was a real dick. So we spent the whole fucking show at the bar. We didn't watch a second of the show. We drove all the way out there to get drunk with Lemmy, and I think Billy Joe was back there too from Green Day, and a couple other rock star type people. And I did see Vinnie Paul after the show walk back, and I was blasted, and I'm a dumb kid. And we used to have this thing with drummers, like if you were a fat drummer, you were most of the time in metal, fat drummers were the fucking best drummer.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And Vinnie Paul was fat.
Yeah.
So I see him walking, I'm like, oh, bro, you're losing weight. Don't lose too much weight, though, because everybody knows that fat drummers rule. And he was like, okay, bro. I walked along.
That's badass.
So, yeah, that's my Pantera story. That was still crazy. Went all the way to California, didn't even watch any of it.
That's awesome.
What are some of the best bands that you've recorded, that are cool in the recording process, that are the best to work with?
Oh, boy. That's really hard. When I think about bands I work with, it reminds me of like being a kid going to a record store. You have all these ideas of what you want to get, and then you get to the record store and you can't remember.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shit, what was I going to get again?
Oh, yeah.
I used to do that
all
Yeah.
the fucking time.
dude.
I remember that.
So I draw a blank on like, oh, shit, who have I worked with? I can come up with like 2 names in 20 years.
Well, I forgot to ask you earlier,
bro.
what when you opened your studio, what inspired you to even open the studio? I know you had been in Pelvic for that point for a few years. You just wanted to record your own shit, or?
From the get-go, I had an interest in. I was always fascinated by recording. Like when I was real young, I remember my grandfather had a tape recorder, and I was like, I can like record myself saying something and then like play it back.
Yeah.
Forever. That's weird, but really cool. So yeah, since early on, very interested in that concept. And then when Pelvic started recording, all of a sudden I was like, oh, dude, this process was like fascinating to me. So I'd be like the first one there, the last one to leave, even though I wasn't doing shit. So a little bit later in life, I managed video stores through college. And then when I graduated college, I was still managing video stores.
And didn't Pat Nevey work with you?
That's how I met Pat Nevey.
Yeah.
Isn't
that crazy?
I was his boss.
What
for
video
a minute.
store?
Video power store at 35th Avenue in Pinnacle Peak.
Dude, holy shit.
I don't know why, but I would go up to that store. Me and Nisbet and Jay
Video
and
Power.
Why would we go up there and harass you? Was it for videos or just to talk? Like I don't
know. I don't know. Maybe to harass me, probably.
Well, you know what I mean. Like you're at work. Why would I go to Byron's work? You know, like it's just.
That was
you know
one of
what I
the.
mean? Like why would you go to your work and like? I knew right where you worked, 35th and Pinnacle Peak.
Yeah,
like,
that was wild.
That was one of like the last real video stores.
Right.
That were like around.
Yeah,
they all started dying off.
Well, Hollywood Video came in, and that's when
on 35th and Union.
Yes, but even overall, because the people who owned that one also owned one in Scottsdale, and I managed them both. And then Hollywoods had come in close proximity to both those stores, so I was let go because I was the highest paid, and I was like, oh, fuck. Well, what am I able to do right away that I can jump into, just so I can plan from there? So I had to go to work for Hollywood Video, which totally sucked because it was like, okay, I just went to work for the competition and they're like super corporate, and that's when I kind of decided this is bullshit. What am I doing with my life? I have a college degree. Why am I doing this?
Fucking A.
So I decided, well, what am I interested in? And I had been dabbling in recording on the side. I don't remember maybe it was Grasp. Remember Grasp?
Oh yeah.
I think I recorded them for a 12-pack of beer or something like that down at the rehearsal room. So I was like, well, maybe I can go to school for recording. So that's what I did. I went to the conservatory and
You went there?
Yeah, in 96. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Alumni. But
intern.
That's when
I'd love to. That'd be dope.
right? That's when I decided to. My goal pretty much from there was like, I can start my own studio, because the dude who recorded the Pelvic albums, he was doing it out of a couple of bedrooms. And I'm like, I got a house. Okay. So I went to school, started to amass, what gear I could, and then started recording bands, yours of which being one of the first ones. Oh, and not to like go a totally weird direction, but how fucking weird is this? In the past week, I've had 2 people, both of which I believe are from other countries, inbox me asking me if I have a copy of the Brick CD. I'm like, hey, how the fuck do you even know who these guys are?
That's amazing,
dude. Yeah, and one of the guys knows all about like more the rap type bands from Phoenix of that era, asking me like Mainstay and Half Game.
Dang.
I'm like, how do you even know who these bands are? You weren't in Arizona.
That's weird.
And why do you care?
Yeah, that's weird.
These bands are long
That's
gone.
so cool.
But yeah, super super neat. And I thought I had a couple extra Brick CDs, but I looked around and I don't. And I wasn't going to give them my only one.
I still have mine.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so weird.
That is weird. It's so cool though.
2 people in 1 week.
How they know who you are?
It's on the back of the CD.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like they actually care about that stuff, and they actually reached out to you.
One guy said he reached out to everybody that he could that he knew of in Brick. And I don't. Maybe I didn't get a hold of you.
I don't know. What was his name?
I don't remember. I had to look on Facebook. But yeah.
I just recently got on, so
it's probably some chicks that Uma knocked up back in the day, fucking doing it all secret, trying to find you.
You've got more kids, actually.
No.
Actually, they are from other countries.
They're actually Oompa's kids. They're not their parents.
Yeah, there's kids. Yeah.
You see the Brick CD? Yeah, I'm his son.
It's just a ploy to find you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Anyway.
Okay. Well, no, that's totally cool. That's so rad.
Yeah, it's so random. You know what I mean?
It totally is.
But yeah, you guys should get the band back together, bro.
We should.
Yeah.
I think Nisbet.
Nisbet's done with music, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know.
I heard he's just like over it, which I can kind of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get older, it's just harder and harder to do the band thing in every which way, just time wise. Your body, you're fucking tired,
dude. Yeah,
your
mindset.
Yeah.
I want to write music, but I don't know if I just want to
watch TV.
And honestly, it's a pain in the ass dealing with band members.
Totally.
I mean, being in a band, we're in a 5-piece. It's like having 4 other girlfriends, but not only can you get in arguments with them, but then they fight with each other, and you're fucking being the mediator, and it's a fucking it's a nightmare. It's old.
Well, I already have 4 baby mamas, and then when I have the band members, it's like having 5 extra baby mamas. So
that's way too many, bro. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think it's like when you're young and dumb, you have like the brass ring you're shooting for, whatever that is. At first you started because this is cool. I want to play my instrument and
pussy.
And that doesn't come until a little bit later. At least for me, I remember we would write songs like, oh wow, we can actually all play together, and it doesn't sound terrible. That's cool. And then we started to do shows, and it was like, oh wow, people are coming to our shows. That's cool. And then I had a brief moment where I'm like, aren't there supposed to be chicks? Specifically, like strippers? I mean, isn't that what's supposed to happen?
That's what I'm saying. When you first start out, you think that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily.
I remember practicing right behind the Bush Company, so it was like reality.
It's inevitable. That
No, it happened right off the bat. No,
right?
just kidding. No.
I'm not editing that.
I'm not editing that. I will say, coincidentally, right around the time I was wondering where the strippers were, they did enter our life, and
at some point, yeah,
it was like, oh, okay.
And then it got crazy.
It did, and I went through like a handful of them, and I'm like, okay, I got that out of my system. Now we can move on. But yeah, so I don't know what young people shoot for these days. What is the goal? I mean, when we were younger, we had the record label.
Social media likes and followers. Yeah.
Like, but dude, who's going to go spend, let's say, for instance, $5,000 on a, I don't know, EP or a record or something? What do you get at? At least when we were younger, we might recoup some of that money at our CD release show, which is usually the big goal. It's like, oh, we're going to have a CD release, and then everybody's going to forget about that record and never buy it again. But I don't see any way of recouping.
Do you guys see any money from
such a different era?
Yeah.
Do you guys see any money from your Spotify plays?
So we use TuneCore for digital distribution, so we're across all that shit. And yeah, basically, I don't ever withdraw any of the money that we make. I just keep it in there to pay for the yearly dues every time it comes around. Yeah. But I mean, we usually have a surplus of, I think we're like, there's not shit in there. There's probably like $800 in that motherfucker.
Oh, that's better than.
Probably better than most.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're making 10 cents per stream or whatever.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's bullshit. So yeah, I don't know what motivates younger people to,
do you see
play music anymore.
A difference in the bands from when you started off recording to now, in the way they're inspired and how they, because it is a completely different era, so you have to see that firsthand.
Yeah, and I do see a lot of laziness in some of the younger bands,
like lack of drive.
Well, I'll be like, okay, let's just roll it again, and the guitar player looks over the whole song. Like, yeah, motherfucker, that's how we play songs from beginning to end. Play the whole fucking thing. What are you thinking? Like, well, I just figured you could cut it up and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, no, you got to earn your edits, bro.
Yeah.
So let's
fucking A, man.
Play it a couple more times.
That should be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You got to earn your edits, bro.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
hey, Brian, how many bands from beginning till today
oh, fuck, man.
have you recorded?
I don't even know. I would guess hundreds. I don't know. I don't know. Remember the door to the bedroom with all the stickers? Your stickers still on there? There's at least like 40 bands on that alone. So fuck, maybe it's hundreds, 500. It's hard to say. I'm bad at that.
Damn, that's awesome, though, man.
Yeah, a lot of locals, and it's interesting to see how many come and go. So many that were like so serious about their band and how competitive, and they would be dicks to you because they were so ego driven,
right?
And then they broke up 5 years ago, never to be in another band.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, that was really important to you, wasn't it, bro?
Yeah.
But then there are those bands that are fucking amazing, and you just don't understand how they haven't blown up.
Right? Yeah.
That's the one that gets me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands where I was like, these guys are gonna change music, and they just nothing.
Yeah. Weird.
Well, you've seen music basically evolve through a couple decades.
Yeah.
Like how it's been recorded and how it's written. You've seen it change through.
And you've seen like the difference in live bands. That
totally.
We get. Like, not to, bash on anybody, but some of these newer bands, I'm like, you wouldn't even be allowed to play on a weekend when we were kids. You had to bring 100 people on a Wednesday to be able to play an opening slot on a Saturday at Boston's or something like that. And now there are so few bands, at least in, I can say, like the heavier, like the metal rock scene that I have seen lately. I'm like, this band shouldn't be fucking playing 11 o'clock on a Saturday. They're so rough and unrehearsed and green but I'm like, okay, well, I guess considering there's only like 5 other bands,
Yeah.
this is all we got. So it's kind of depressing. And not to say that it's all like that, but I've met a lot of shows, and
yeah, that does suck.
Like, fuck, man.
That does suck. I was hoping it was going to be the complete opposite.
Right.
I was really hoping that the music scene was, something that was.
And don't get me wrong, we have a handful that are driven dudes that that throw down and love to play, and you can see it in their performance, and they get people to their shows, and they rehearse, so you can tell that they're.
Well, I remember back in the day, like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that there was a good show. You could go to a good show, guaranteed one good show every night of the week.
Right.
And there would be probably some good local show with a bunch of good local bands, local acts, every night of the week.
Right.
And
now you'd be lucky to find one a week,
Yep.
And again, I can't speak for all genres because I live in one kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's weird. But the other thing is, so you start to look at it and be like, oh, because you got a lack of showgoers compared to when we were playing.
That's true too. Yeah, it's harder to get people out of their fucking house.
Yeah, I mean, we played.
I can imagine trying to do that now.
A ton of people, and now it's like, okay, well, that's how it is these days. But I've also seen the other side of it. If you're a good band and you work and you're smart and you put together a great show with great bands, you can still pack a house.
Yeah.
I've gone to some shows like, holy fuck, this reminds me of like the good old days,
Mm-hmm.
So it can still be done. I don't know the exact formula for it because there are so many other distractions, with the advent of technology, and well, we can just stay home and watch that concert on TV or whatever.
Do you have a hard time finding new music to listen to?
Yes, and I'm not even really searching too avidly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just get lucky and some kid in a band. I'm like, have you heard these guys? I'm like, no, because I'm old. But yeah, let's check them out. And then if they resonate with me, then I'll give them a spin. But yeah, I miss having to go out and find.
Yeah,
cool,
searching.
Yeah, because now it's like, it's so saturated. I mean, it's all right there.
Yeah, at your fingertips.
Can you find it? Do you want to spend the time sifting through all this? And on the other side of it is like, I remember growing up and I'd like a band or whatever, and the most you're going to find out about them is whatever you read in the liner notes of the record, or some kind of rock magazine that's going to do an interview with them.
And that's where you find your new bands there too.
I know, but how fun was that? How
totally.
And
that's what I'm saying.
And it made to me the band's more mysterious.
Exactly.
So because everything's so in your face with the social media.
Yeah.
I loved like when certain bands came out and like say like Deftones. Remember like when they were in Circus Magazine and we only heard, I didn't know what they would look like, and you'd see a magazine and be like, holy shit, this is what they fucking look like.
Dude.
Bad as fuck.
Yeah.
And just waiting for those magazines to come out. But
and that would be the only picture you'd see for like a year.
Fuck another year, yeah.
And then you see another picture and they have like long hair and it's like bleached.
Whoa,
You're like,
they totally changed.
They completely changed.
But it gave them like this mysteriousness about them, but just made them so fucking cool.
Yeah,
and
now you
even
can
more better.
You can find every fucking thing about them in 2 seconds. So
Yeah.
where's the fun in that?
I remember one of my favorite things to do was to go to Zia and walk in to the new used area, and then right next to the new used they had like the area where it was like, check out these new bands type thing. Just going to Zia was the event of finding new music because you're like get giddy because you knew you were gonna find something new.
But not just that that you get this package that you open up. There's artwork. There's like a physical,
tangible thing
that you're touching.
Yeah.
Not. Maybe that's why I don't sift through music as much, because it's just on the internet and I'm going through it and it's just so much shit. But it was just so much fun. Like waiting, either discovering new bands or going to get your favorite new band's album at Zia's, and like I said, opening up, going through the notes and like, oh my god, they thank those guys. They're friends with those guys.
Now check those guys out.
Or they thank those guys. Who are those guys? I should maybe buy their CD.
My favorite thing was where they recorded.
Me too.
Who
Yeah.
engineered and produced
Yeah.
it.
Who produced it? Yeah.
Look at when I open up the insert,
There's
it's like, who did this album? I want to know where.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Yeah.
There's some really good YouTube shows, like little YouTube videos with different producers. That is pretty cool, where they talk about, where those same producers that you remember, like looking at, like Ross Robinson, what's he doing nowadays?
Mm-hmm. Terry Date.
I mean? Terry Date, yeah, fucking, what the fuck? You look like
Terry
a fucking
the Joker.
Yeah, like you look like you're ready to murder somebody, bro.
Terry Date was.
He was the guy for a while.
Dude, he was.
He did Pantera and Deftones, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to his stuff was so huge for me for years. Pantera, Deftones.
Does he still put shit out today?
See, I'm so
Jamie.
That whole era is lost. That whole
Terry Date
stuff's
still does
lost
some
to me.
stuff.
Like, I don't even know.
I've been out of the loop.
That's what
Mold.
that's what that Dave Grohl
Tell me
show
about
was
it.
cool about, because they talked to a lot of those cool producers.
keep rubbing
footsies
Ugh.
with you, bro.
So that was
I like the Dave Grohl one where he records a whole album on reel to reel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You seen
yeah.
that? He
Uh-huh.
brings a reel to reel.
Yep.
An
No
old newly
digital
born
shit
into his
allowed.
house and
Yep.
fucking records the album there. It's badass.
that's fucking cool.
Yeah, he
Did you ever
forbade-
do that, like where you have to cut the tape and all that shit?
I worked on 2-inch at the first studio I ever worked at, and I didn't have to do crazy editing, but yeah, I did do some
That's crazy.
some splicing. Thank God
Wow.
we don't have to do that anymore. Not to go backward, but
Oh no, you're good.
speaking of like when we were younger and how going forward, kids won't have this cool experience of like
Oh yeah.
finding your bands and sifting through albums. Who in here has ever gone and bought a record simply based on what's on the cover?
Oh,
right?
fucking A, man.
Dude, how many cool bands? I mean, it was
Fucking
tons.
it was a gamble though, right?
I did that with Code 7. That's how I found Code 7. They just had a badass album cover. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fucking grab that shit.
Yeah.
My dad did that when he was in the Navy. He would go around and they would just sell albums like super cheap, and if it was a cool cover, he would just buy it. And
Right.
it's fucking.
It was a gamble because I remember I don't remember how I was pretty young, and I think we were out on vacation in Kansas or something, and they had Walmarts back then before we did, and my mom was like, "Go pick a tape or whatever." So I went to the tape and record section, and I narrowed it down between 2 tapes, and one of them was this band called Law's Rocket, and the other was Slayer. And I'm like, oh, I can't decide. The Law's Rocket cover was gay. It was kind of like cartoony,
Yeah.
cartoony but fun. And I was a kid, so I was like, And then the Slayer cover was evil. I'm like, And I ended up going with Law's Rocket, and they were not very good.
I thought you were gonna go say Slayer on this.
It would have totally changed the course of my life if I had found Slayer at that age. Yeah, I'd have been like, yeah, I probably would have ended up listening to much heavier stuff from the get-go, but I chose this other band.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that sucks that nobody moving forward is going to have that experience in their youth of hunting down cool music and, like you said, the mystique of the performers. Now it's all gone, man. Now you can just find it all on the internet.
Yeah, it's a definitely different era just as far as making money off of music, with the streaming and selling records. And
something's going to break soon, and that's going to change, I think. It has to be the next step where, and I think we're already working toward that, artists making the money they deserve off their work. So hopefully we'll see more positive changes moving forward.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's certain artists that won't stream their shit, like Jay-Z. Like he has his own streaming
Really?
service. Garth Brooks.
No shit.
What is really interesting is Tool forever never streamed their shit and just dropped all their shit about like 3 weeks ago or so. But there's like the Beatles for a while didn't. Like last year, a couple years ago, they just dropped all their shit. So a lot of bands are just eventually having to
succumbing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just don't think the money is the same as it used to be when you used to sell records,
No, not even close. I don't even know if it'll come back to being even close to what it was, but
The internet has to crash,
right,
for it to do that.
Yeah.
Something. How much time do we have, Little Mac? Like 10? I wanted to talk to you for a little bit about your clothing line too, man.
Oh, cool.
The best.
The best, man.
So how long have you been with the best clothing line now?
I think 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
And where did you decided to do that?
Why did that come up?
No. I don't mean why. I mean, like, how did you get inspired to do that?
Oh, sure. So my partner, his name is DL. We've been friends for a long time, and we'd always like be at the bar, have some drinks, and then talk about potential business ideas, and most of them just go by the wayside because we're just drunk and that sounds cool. Yeah, let's talk about it tomorrow. Never again. So the best came up as it was kind of like a joke between me and my ex and a couple friends, I think DL included, and it was if you're indecisive about something, like if somebody said, "Hey, let's go eat. Where should we go?" I don't know, man. As long as it's the best, I don't have, it's like, I don't have an idea. Just make it the best. Whatever it is, just make it the best. So that was kind of a joke. So that kind of started that idea. And then we talked about doing this clothing line. The umbrella was the best, but then it was just going to have like stupid images. Like there was this jogger that had diarrhea. And at the top it was going to say diet-rhea in the Coca-Cola font. One of our ideas. So yeah, something that maybe me and 10 other people would think is funny, but we already have, there's t-shirt hell for that. If you want to go
fucking love t-shirt hell, man.
So like, yeah, that's not probably the way we should go with it. And anyway, it was kind of just talked about for a while. And then my partner, he suffered a lot of loss right around this time. Like his father died, his cousin committed suicide. His girlfriend left him and moved to another state and got married to another guy. I mean, shit that you can't make up happened to him. So he's like, look, man, I know we've been talking about the best thing. Let's get serious about it because I need something positive to focus on, positive and productive. Right. And he had already like kind of done some homework. He's like, look, one of our good friends can handle the screen printing aspect for really cheap because he's kind of getting into it. So I'm like, okay, man. That makes sense. I like it. So let's do it. But that's when we decided let's just brand the name. So let's come up with some simple logo that will be inexpensive for us to print. And that might be appealing to people because, I don't know, in my mind it's like, it says the best. Who doesn't think or want to feel like the best at whatever they do, right? So whether you're ego-driven dude at the gym and you want to be the best, or whatever it is, maybe it's just playful. Like to me, it was just funny. My girlfriend at the time had made me a shirt that just said the best in like this generic block print. And every time I wore it out, I would like get people commenting, "Oh, that guy thinks he's the best," or "What are you the best at?" And I'm like, well, maybe there's something to it. So
good conversation starter. Yeah.
So that was the first logo, was just this block, and then we came up with this like more sporty, but it's still generic and simple. But I think that's part of
those simple logos are the ones that stick in someone's mind and stuff, though, too. I think. Yeah. You don't want it too crazy. You don't want a black metal logo.
Right. What does that spider web say?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how.
Did that go out?
How it got started.
Oh shit! Yeah, the battery died on that.
You want me to switch it, or you got?
I can switch it really quick. Just keep the conversation going.
What did you lose, bro?
We just gotta change the battery real quick.
All right.
Like a few more minutes left anyway.
Right.
Oop. Jesus, man. Sound guy. What the fuck, dude?
Well, he doesn't have his headphones on.
Oh, yeah.
F you.
Hey, did you know that your Danzig video is over 10,000 views, brother? You talking about Danzig is over 10,000 views, man.
I need to do a part 2 because I'm telling you, I used to be a huge Danzig fan. And my first drums ever played on drums was Mother. I used to watch his home videos. I even got a tramp stamp because of Danzig.
Really?
Because in his videos, he's getting a tramp stamp, and I got a tramp stamp because
what
of
a
him.
pig! He gets a tramp stamp in one of his videos.
Yeah, he's like this, turned around on the chair, and he's like all cool, and there's like a
tattoo guy
tatting his tramp stamp.
Gross. Was Rob Halford in the video?
He was
just saying, he probably should have been.
Anyway, I'm just saying, like, I didn't mean him any disrespect, but the dude disrespected so many people that night, and I went to shake his hand to say, hey, have a good show, because it was Danzig, and I played a song. I got a tramp stamp because of him.
Sorry, dude. That's just so.
No,
funny.
seriously. I was such a fan, and
Like,
the dude,
motherfucker, see what you did to my back.
no, the dude.
Does it say Danzig?
This is to Danzig? Yeah.
No, I mean the tramp stamp.
Yeah, it doesn't say Danzig.
Oh,
That would be even better.
I know. I'm just playing.
What does it say?
It's just like a tribal.
Okay.
But like, I went to shake his hand to have a good show, and he looked at me and just didn't even shake my hand, and I was like, and then later on, he dicked over a whole bunch of other people, and to be honest with you, all Danny did was say sorry or something.
Yeah.
And Danzig's the one that pushed him and said, "Fuck you, motherfucker." And Danzig thought because he was such the badass that he stood there and Danny wasn't going to do anything.
Right.
Danzig stood there with a deer in headlights.
Yeah. Like, do something.
Like you ain't going to do anything. And Danzig hit him. I'm sorry. That's Danzig's fault.
Yeah.
He fucked over so many people that night. And I wish I can get this tramp stamp removed because he's such a jerk.
Did you?
Literally,
He's such a
don't
jerk.
mean any disrespect, but seriously, fans, he really screwed over a lot of people that
There
night.
was quite a few people that told similar stories on the comments on that. Like,
He's
yeah,
such a jerk.
he got in a fight with these guys and got beat up by Tesla or something.
But what was awesome, though, was Tommy Prong was there.
That's another thing, Tommy Prong.
Tommy Prong was playing guitar for Danzig.
That's not his name, I don't think. Can you look that up,
Is
Jamie?
it Tommy Prong, right?
No, because people
No,
in
I
the
don't
comments
think
were shitting on that for being called that. I think
What
he's-
is his name? Oh, I should know.
Oh, they're
Tommy
getting
Victor.
on me for getting his
Yeah,
Tommy
of course
Victor.
they are. Yeah.
Tommy Victor.
Tommy
Fucking-
Yeah,
Victor.
that's right, Tommy
You fucking
Victor.
tweaker.
Yeah, they called you. One person. Oh my God, dude, it's so funny.
One person called me a tweaker.
Yeah, one person called you Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, I know. I want to bring in my 2x4.
They called
wanna
you
bring
Brad
my 2x4.
Pitt.
No,
They
someone
called you-
said no. Someone said he's the inspiration for Brad Pitt's character in True Romance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
totally fucking badass.
That's real awesome.
But one thing though, they told him that he had to space his teeth, but he didn't want to do that.
What a sissy. I think it's
But no,
the
anyway, to the
diastema is a
tweak.
good look.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. But I've never done tweak in my life, so
Good
never
job.
done meth.
Right?
Why not?
I'm not cool.
He wants to keep his teeth.
Yeah.
I wasn't born with a middle tooth, so
Yeah.
no. Yeah, some of those comments are funny, but seriously,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're d-
Anyways, you're over
I love
10,000
you,
views, man. I love it, dude.
That's funny.
I
That's
get-
funny. My thumbs down are catching up to the
Yeah,
thumbs up.
isn't
It's
that
so
funny, bro? I love it, man.
We need to do a part 2 because I really want to talk more trash about Danzig.
You should start showing
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and fucking be on the show more. We love you, brother. I know you have a good time here.
I only come on for the people I love.
Oh, shucks. You don't love Keith anymore, bro?
Oh, he's right.
Anyway.
That was great. A good surprise seeing you here today, brother.
For sure, for sure.
And thank
Yeah,
you
man,
guys
we
for
really
having me on,
appreciate you
too.
fucking coming on, taking the time, dude. Is there
My
anything you
pleasure.
want to plug or promote really quick where people can find maybe the best clothing?
Sure.
Or?
Yeah. Best Clothing Company is simple. It's thebestclothingcompany.com. I was amazed that domain was available for $14.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's awesome.
yeah. But yeah, check that out. Check out some of our clothes. It's fun. We do a Halloween shirt once a year, and Halloween's coming up, so
Fuck yeah.
we got to figure out what the next one's gonna
Like
be.
limited pressings and stuff like that.
Nah, we should, but we're so small. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
you want to buy that? If we don't have it in stock, I'll make
You have any
for
Halloween
Yeah.
ideas for your shirts?
Dude, everybody has an idea for me for our Halloween shirt. Dude, you got to do the Headless Horseman. I'm like, dude, we got like 50 people in line before the Headless Horseman's going to make it to a shirt, bro.
Yeah.
We haven't hit Pinhead yet or Leatherface, all the popular
80s
guys.
monster,
Yeah,
80s slasher dudes.
Yeah. So we did Michael Myers first because he's my dude. And then it was Voorhees. And then it was Freddy. And then everybody thought it was going to be Pinhead. So we did Jaws. And everybody's like, what the fuck?
That's
Jaws?
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
nobody could
awesome.
guess it. Nobody could
You should
guess
do
it.
Harry and the Hendersons next.
Right? See? It's endless. We could do this for the next, 100 years. So
Chris has pretty cool tattoos of Myers and Voorhees, or
Ooh.
Myers and Freddy.
Ooh, good Fred. Where's my dude? There he is. Ooh, nice. Well done, sir.
Nice calf.
Can bands book with you to record or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How-
I mean,
how
you
they
could
find
you
you
could
on-
find me at villainrecording.com.
Sweet.
Villain, the most commonly misspelled word. I picked a really bad name. So Villain, recording.com. And I'm on Facebook too, just under my name, Byron Filson, and Villain Recordings on Facebook. So is the best clothing company. So
Sweet.
Facebook, website,
Twitter, Instagram.
either way. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. Yeah, we're on Twitter, but I don't understand Twitter. So I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, I've slowly faded away from Twitter.
Right? Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That's probably because we're old. We don't get it.
Yeah, I have a hard
I'm
time with
older
that
than
social
you,
media shit, man.
Right? Yeah.
It's too many apps.
He gives me shit because it takes me 40 minutes to do one.
Gotta minimize those fucking things.
Yeah.
Do you want to do our shout outs real quick, McCoy?
Yeah. Big shout out to AZHD80 podcast with Mike Myers.
That
right?
name, yeah. AZHD.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's a crazy play on words. It's AZHD80, right?
No. AZ80
HD, yes. Yeah. So anyways, I did his podcast. That was pretty cool. So check that out, and check out Strongheart Academy, and check out Bird City Comics on Facebook. Bunch of cool cats doing live comic book auctions. So.
Can you hand me this paper?
Also check out CBSI Presents Tales from the Flip Side, my other podcast, one of my other podcasts where we talk about making money off of comic books and sports cards.
Ooh, cool.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Take me back to my childhood, brother.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
It was fun as shit, dude.
Reminiscing.
Dude, I went to my dad's house for Father's Day, and a couple days before, he had picked up a collection of baseball cards that we found on OfferUp, and we sat there and went through baseball cards for like 2 hours, man. It was like being a kid.
Smoking blunts with your dad?
Smoking blunts with my dad, looking through baseball cards, man.
Dad smokes now?
Blunts.
He does. Blunts.
Blunts. The Waniac.
It's saving his life, dude.
Waniac?
Yeah.
Waniac smokes blunts.
The Waniac, yeah. It's saving his life, brother. He takes, you know what else he takes? He takes Rick Simpson oil at night. Yeah.
That's nice, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Completely off of all the other bullshit.
Good.
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck
that's
yeah.
awesome. I love hearing those stories.
Right?
Yeah, so check it
Awesome.
out.
Well, thanks to Byron for coming on, taking the time to talk to us and bullshit. Man, you can come on anytime you want. If
Awesome,
you just
man.
want to, if you're bored on a
Appreciate it.
Sunday, we fucking love to have you back on.
Hell
So.
yeah, dude.
Show,
I
whenever
love
If you have a
it.
show you want to promote or anything, yeah,
Any show
seriously, just hit
coming
us up,
come on
dude.
in, we'll-
Cool. Yeah.
And thanks to
Let's go
Oompa for
on.
fucking finally making it back again.
My dude.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hopefully you can.
Thanks
come
for
back on
staying
the
so
next one.
handsome.
Oh, thank you. You're so handsome.
Stop. Let's get the cameras off so we can get this party
Get
started.
bro. Thank you, Little Mac, and thanks, Don Rizzi. That is a wrap on episode 44 of the Bogcast.
Yeah.
Bang!